Hi everyone, welcome back to our new video. In this video, we will be learning about what are our unity colliders, about the rigid body, and all, and how it works. So let's get into it. So as you all know, in the previous video, we learn about how to add the music things and play and pause and all those stuffs with buttons. So today we don't need these things. So I will be removing the canvas and all. Also, I will make the main camera also skybox. Okay, so I can see the world. Now, for colliders and all, we need some objects. So I will go on hierarchy and create a plane. So plane will act as a ground for us. So I created it and just tap on reset here. So it comes here. Okay, I will bring it a bit down like this. Great. Now, of course, we added a plane, so we need an object where we will be uh, applying the gravity and all. Okay. So I will add a cube and similarly I will reset it. Great. So plane and cube are like, if I see it's they are on the same area. Okay. Great. Now, for example, when you create a new 3D object, it comes with box collider in the starting only. Now, what it does? Before starting with the box collider, I will tell you about the rigid body, what it is. So for example, I edit and I just click on play. And you can see game has started, but there's no update here. Like the cube is not even falling and all. So what is rigid body? Rigid body is kind of, you can call it as a gravity tool, which can have using make the object act like in the real world. So for example, if something is on flying, it will drop if it's not bird and all. But similarly, what the gravity do. So what to add it rigid body? I will select cube and add component rigid body. Also, if you have created a 2D project, then use rigid body 2D. But in our case, we are in a 3D project, so we'll use rigid body. Now, what it happens? The basic things I will tell you about one by one. These are its values for the gravity and all. Now, use gravity stick. So now the game will use gravity. And now you can see as soon as the play will happen, the cube will start falling. Correct? Great. Now, if I disable use gravity, what will happen is it will not work. And as soon I enable, I also can pause it in between. For example, I will just drag it out, disable, enable. Okay. So for example, you want the use gravity to be enabled, but in any kind of in the between of your gameplay, you want the for that particular time, I don't want the gravity to be there. So you or you want the object to be in the fixed area like that. You can use the kinematic one. Like it's kind of a freezing the gravity only. Great. So now I will tap on use gravity. I will bring it. We'll see more options. So this generally none is the best thing. It's just like kind of a objects collision detection. So there's a one tip I will adjust. Without rigid body, there are very high chances that the collision doesn't happen also in most of the cases. Okay, so rigid body, adding rigid body is important. If you don't want the gravity in that function, then just disable the use gravity, but adding it is important. And for example, it's a player and you want that this object should actively uh, continues the collision detection. So what is colliding? It should detect continuous over all the gameplay period. So you can use that in these settings. Now, what is constraints? It's a freeze position thing. So what happens is when gravity is there, so it means that it's controlled by force. Okay, and force can be anything. Like for example, it's a play. Okay, and you are moving it in a very high speed. Now because maybe like with force he started rotating or automatically it started like falling automatically like in this way or like this etc it's happening. So to pause that thing you can do it in this way. So you want that in the gameplay my player will not go on x-axis, or I don't go on y-axis and don't go on z-axis maybe, then you can disable that axis. If you want that, okay, we don't want our player to rotate in z-axis, so you can just tick on y or z, it will not work. For example, I will click on y-axis and use gravity is on. Okay, it's a position thing. So now on y-axis, it will not move. You can see use gravity is on, but because I just applied the constraint on freeze position, it doesn't move. And if I disable it, you can see. Great. Now, what is a plane? So how it's happening is, in Unity, there are multiple types of colliders. Okay. So there are mesh collider, there are sphere collider, there are polygon collider, and there is a box collider. Okay. Now what it does, mesh collider with any of the mesh object, in starting only mesh collider comes, whose whose shape is not a box or etc. It will come as a mesh collider. For example, you imported a model from maybe Unity Asset Store or maybe Sketchfab and anything, then in that case, it will come as a mesh collider. Okay, it will not come as a box collider, it will come as a mesh collider. Okay. And if mesh collider is there, there should be a mesh render, because that is only displaying the mesh. You can see these are the colliders. You can see this green line. And for making it visible for human eyes, the mesh render is important. And both objects should have the collision, then only collision will happen, as we all know. For example, this is one hand and this is another hand. Now I can only collapse when both has the collision. If, for example, if this hand will not have the collision, this hand will like pass, but because this hand the collision, I can't eventually pass. Okay, I can like eventually feel that, okay, I can force it like that. Great. Similarly, here box collider is there, because if I click on edit collider, you can see its shape is like a box. Correct? Great. Now you can see what this means is trigger and not. For example, is trigger means it will do the opposite. You can just, in a simpler word, you can set it will do the opposite. Now, because without is trigger, when I play the game, it was falling. You can see it just fall. Wait. Oh, constraints. It falls and it doesn't fall down. But if I enable the is trigger, it will pass through the collision. Okay. Generally, we don't prefer is trigger in most of the things. It depends like what's kind of collision we wanted. If it's a wall, etc., we will avoid is trigger. But if it's something a trigger, if it's something like a trigger, for example, if player reach there, I want the player to be uh I want the player camera to rotate, or any certain task, like I want two enemies to spawn. For that case, I want is trigger on those objects, so that those object, what I mean with those object is, those trigger object will not act as a blocker for my player can easily pass, but because it has the is trigger property, it will count the uh, collision of player, and whatever the we have inside the code and all, that will get executed, which you will understand in the future classes, that what type of code I'm telling you this matter. Okay, basically this is like a box collider. Similarly, if I added a 3D object capsule, okay, you will see there's a capsule collider, because capsule shape is different, box shape is different, sphere shape is different. It has the capsule collider. Similarly, I will bring it up a bit left, right, okay, and I will add a rigid body here also. Okay, now for example, I go on 3D object and I will add a cylinder. Cylinder and capsule is kind of similar, so they have the same kind of collision. And now if I go on sphere, it has a sphere collider. You can see like it's circular because. Okay. Similarly, I will just add a rigid body here also. I will check if I added it here. No. So I will add the rigid body here also. Now what will happen if I play, all object will fall. Okay, all is falling. Expect this keys because whenever you edit something in runtime, because you remember that I disable the constant thing while I'm in the play mode, it doesn't save it. Okay, now it will all will fall. Correct. Now, if I want that all, because all have the same thing, I want the collision detection to be continuous, then I will just play it and you can see the message. It act as a simpler, but in the behind it is working like as a collision detection is made as a continuous. Now, what is a physics material? Now, it's generally for all those bounciness. So what it is, I will go on the material, create a physics material. So I go on here, you can find it here, physics material. Correct. So with the idea of this, you understand it helps in the bounciness of a things. Okay. So if I, for example, if I add it like 0.5, okay, and apply it to maybe sphere because that will be a perfect to see uh shape of a material in the physics material. Now you can see this, just focus on this sphere. Okay. You will see a slighter bounciness. For a higher one, I will make it like, sorry, you can do it in the whole number after one. So I will do it like one, let's try with one. If it works, or else we'll do it like two. Now you can see that the ball bounces a bit. Yeah, correct. You saw. That's the thing. Now if I added it generally all, sorry, I can't add it on because all have the separate corridor. So I need to do it by one. Sphere. Now we'll go in the capsule material section. Cube, this also has the capsule corridor and the cube has the box corridor. I will apply it here and then I will just play it up and just see it now. All our object have start jump. Correct. And now if I want to increase our bounciness, I will just do it like two. Wait, not two. It's the x is one. I will make it one. Make it one. Okay, bounce combine multiply. Maybe just now you will see some weird things happening. There are very high chances of it. Why it doesn't happen? Because of the settings. So I will make it like an average and make it like, and now I will just play. Because generally the basically the down setting doesn't get changed multiple times. We just generally the static settings are all of them similar. Okay, that's the thing. Now coming to the next thing is we can apply simple materials to it. We all know how to create material. I have already told you in a video. If you didn't watch that video, what are you waiting for? Like, you can just like go and like, yeah, just go and watch it out. Best I can tell you. So I have this material which I can apply it here. Like just to apply the random materials, you can just see it right now. It looks cool. I play it out and you can see how the bounce is happening here. In this case, you can see that play object come and bounces and going. So that's how like the general collision is happen. And if we all know, you can just like relate this within the real term that if without collision, how things will work. Okay, like just like imagine in your mind like there you are in a room or you are in a area where no collision is there, you can fall. So similarly this is something like that. Okay, uh I hope you like this video. We'll go in more detail of coding structure very soon, coding and all. Till then, stay updated with the classes. Keep joining. And also do subscribe the channel. Comment me out if you have any problems, if you have any doubts and all. Do comment me out. I will be there to sort it out. Thanks a lot. Make sure to watch our previous videos so that you don't miss the sync. Okay, just like start with early so that you understand very most of the things once more also if you already know. So wait, see you in the next class, guys. Bye bye.